What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be starting a new series on League of Legends where we'll be going over different top lane matchups. I'm going to have a goal of education, and I'm going to teach more people, hopefully, about how to play certain matchups. Um, so I plan to go over all the matchups on Champs on Main, which includes Camille, Nasus, Gwen, Jax, Ornn, um, Adibble, and some Vladimir as well. And so basically, with this, I'm going to also plan on doing other champions and a majority of the matchups, if not all the common matchups in top lane, if I get enough support on this series. Currently, I'm pretty busy with academics and an actual esports team, but I'd be able to get more matchup knowledge with my connections to GM one tricks, Challenger one tricks, past pro players. If I do get enough support for this, but as I said, I do have plans on going over all the champs I made and their respective matchups. And so going over credentials for this, I've been coached by many Challenger players, pro players like Coach Chippies from the Oceanic server. He played in MSI, played in Worlds. I've done some coaching sessions with him. Um, Also, the rank one Nasus Global Psychopathic top lane. I'm sure a lot of top laners know him. So I've played the game for about 2.5, 3 years now, and I've been able to hit Masters a couple months ago. 17 when I was 17 on the NA server. And so yeah, that's basically that's my credentials. And so we're going to delve into arguably my favorite, the most skill intensive matchup in top, and this will be Camille versus Fiora. And so I'll be sharing some in-depth tips and strategies to help you win this matchup. And so I guess I'll just jump right into it. So first things, all right, so first things first, you got to set yourself up for success. I do think a lot of people overemphasize the importance of runes, itemization, this sort of thing over gameplay, but it is still a important aspect of League. So usually in this matchup, I like to run Ignite, Teleport. This will give you kill pressure on Fiora, cuts her insane healing, and it'll also give you the split push map pressure once mid game comes around. This means you can split push, draw pressure with you, um, and still be able to teleport to team fights when your team's looking for Baron, Dragon, etc. And so, looking at items, we usually take Dorn's Shield for sustain. Um, Fiora is going to be queuing at you constantly. Whoops, my bad. Fiora usually is going to be queuing at you, proccing her vitals. Um, Getting grasp stacks on you. And so we ourselves actually also take grasp for the same reason. Camille can usually W at other champs in top lane, walk up, proc grasp with Q, get some good damage in, get that nice permanent health that scales with your passive, right? And geez, whoops. And so with the second wind and Dorn's shield, it's going to be very hard for Fiora to poke you out of lane. Biscuits, Cosmic, these are just OP runes. The I guess right won't nerf them, I guess. Um, Attack speed, adaptive. This is kind of wrong. Usually I would go for the early game health. Um, if you're in low elo, I guess you can go for the scaling health because people will drag games out longer. And so, yeah. Moving into the actual matchup here. So before getting into even the main part of this matchup, a neat trick against Fiora that you can do on blue side is actually to um, geez, hide in these bushes here, and you don't want to be seen by Fiora on the map. And the reason for this is because the first Fiora Vital of the game always spawns in the same place, and this is going to be the west side of your champion. And so this is going to be right here. And so on blue side, you actually want to hide from the Fiora because if you think about it, if you have Camille here and you have your Fiora, your Vital is going to be here. And so while you're like fighting each other, um, trading, Fiora is actually not going to be able to proc the Vital on this side unless she's like flanking around your minion wave. But you know, in this case, she's going to take a lot of minion damage, and so the opposite can be said for red side when you actually want to find Fiora as quick as possible. Even if you lose some of your health, you can probably just get a recall off and get your health back, and now you have, you know, what I like to call get rid of the bad Vital, because that Vital is, you're going to be standing here and she's going to be standing here and your Vital is going to be right in front of her face, right? So the opposite can be said. What the heck? Um, all right, getting back into it. Early on, Fjord typically will have the edge in lane control with her poke. There are ways to mitigate this. You want to focus on last hitting minion. Pretty much focus on what she's letting you get. Um, Rotate the trades around your passive shield, and when she queues in, you can auto her for your passive shield, and then you can W her after she queues you. And so I'm gonna get into the how trades are gonna look in a second, but um, basically, she's probably going to get early lane control because Fiora's level 1 is pretty strong. And so if Fiora's good, what she's going to do with this is she's going to stack the first two minion waves, and then when the third minion wave comes in, she's going to three wave crash this into your tower, and then probably cheat or recall. This is going to give her an item advantage, health advantage, and this will be pretty doomed because it creates a scenario where the wave will slow push back into her and she will get a free TP advantage. So, unless you manage to be near full health even after the early lane trades, this is my apologies. You want to be full health after or near full health after the early lane trades because you might get pushed in from the Fiora's level 1 advantage, and you don't want to be low health on the when the wave, the wave starts pushing back to her tower, and she's gonna get here in time because the sad truth about it is Camille has terrible wave clear. Fortunately, Fiora does too, and so you're gonna be kind of stuck in this situation if she managed to crash this under your tower without any really real repercussions. And so, well, you're gonna have to think what is the counter to this, and this means you're gonna have to somehow get a freeze in front of your tower or try to thin it out. As I said, both of you have some of the worst wave clear available in top lane, so wave management in this matchup is important. Some people think on Camille her wave clear sucks, so it doesn't matter, but that is quite far from the truth because as a scaling champion, you do want to think about the positioning of your waves and how your waves are going to interact. Um, because, I mean, Camille is not as weak as, you know, a Kale or Nasus per se, but she does want to have ideal wave positions um, to help her scale into the late game. And so, while Fiora wants it in the middle, or closer her to her side so she can run you down with her ult move speed. Camille wants it near either of the towers. Um, preferably hers to do what I'm about to cover. And so, going on to the topic of maximizing trades, Camille will want to save her W until Fiora goes in, procs a vital with, or tries to Q at you basically. And so what this allows Camille to do is you can use your tactical sweep and trade back on Fiora, and she will not be able to dodge this because you know she queued forward. And something that will really help you in this matchup um, will be to look to pull the waves. So say this wave is coming in here, right? If you're standing here as Camille, you can actually take minion aggro and then walk over here and walk back. And so this is going to position the minion wave near this wall here. Can do this. Well, that's pretty big. Around this wall is here, and What this will let you do is Camille is positioned near walls, capitalize on quick engages. These will be unreactable hook shots off the wall, and so if Fiora tries to parry it, it's not actually going to work. Um, because I mean, she just can't react. No human has that quick reaction speed. The only thing she can do is predict it. But I mean, if you're just standing near this wall, she has to try to predict it. Like 5, 10 seconds. It's just not really possible, right? And so another thing you can do actually is if you don't get it close to this wall, what Camille can do is E to the side of Fior. Say Fior's here. Camille can hook shot onto this wall, and then E to the side of Fior. And Fior's gonna try to parry this, but because it looks like you're going her direction, right? So she'll get the stun from the parry. But actually, by the way, you only want to do this if you have passive up. This will make sure that you can actually win the trades. I would only do this before level 6 when before Fiora can run you down with her ult. Um, and so that can bait her parry out. And what this does is you have an 8-second window when Camille's hook shot will be up and Fiora's parry will be down. And so this is your 8-second window to re-engage. If Fiora's smart, she will probably try to stand away from the walls during this 8-second window. But this means you can play more aggressive. You can zone her off some of the CS, and this will let you get a CS lead, right? Um, all right. So, how I like to think of this matchup, right? You can do this with a lot of different top lane matchups, but you can kind of line up their abilities, and what you want to do is like, okay, look, we have a scaling true damage ability here, right? Um, these kind of cancel each other out because they're quite similar. And then we have Camille passive. It's going to block a large amount of 80 damage, but it's on a relatively long cooldown. And Fiora's E also has a relatively long cooldown and does a ton of physical damage, right? And so these kind of cancel each other out. And so, and then this is an obvious one: hook shot, parry. This is going to be the main interaction in this lane. Both players should be looking to abuse this. And then these abilities don't necessarily cancel each other out, but Camille can use her ultimate um to cancel like each one of these abilities, while Fiora can use her ultimate when Camille's hookshot is down to basically run Camille down. And so what you want to use this knowledge for excuse me, is say Fiora just um randomly queues in, then you want to retaliate with a tactical sweep because this means she won't have anything to really counter this, right? And I hear the argument, well, maybe Fiora can parry your tactical sweep. Well, that means this opens up hook shot. Um, she will have no abilities to counter hook shot if she's going to parry your tactical sweep. So basically, the whole lane, this can apply to a lot of different top lane matchups. You're going to be looking to abuse cooldown advantages all the time, right? Um, and so capitalizing on different opportunities here, this is going to be another one of my points. Camille has really good gank setup, so coordinating with your jungler can turn the tide of this matchup in your favor greatly. So generally speaking, whoever gets first blood in this matchup will completely snowball the game out of control, um, unless your bot's 0-10 or something. But that'll be pretty rare in actual ranked games. And because both of these are considered the two premier top lane carries that hyperscale, they are quite useless if behind. Because the only CC they have, Camille has a pretty weird cage, bad cage, that is just really is terrible if Camille's behind because it's a forced 1v1, and Fiora just has no utility besides her parry slowing people by what, like 40%. So Fiora, how it goes is Fiora will generally win this matchup at level 6. However, Camille can still outplay. But this is the moment where Camille will want to use her gank setup and jungle pressure to retaliate to Fiora's premier 1v1 ability. So besides calling your jungle up for a usual free kill with Cage, you can use R to dodge Fiora's parry and also R immediately when she's about to Q in, as this will put it on full cooldown. This is especially potent right at level 6 because her Q cooldown will still be relatively long. The key to this matchup really is just playing safe, waiting for the right moment, and striking when the opportunity rises. Right. This matchup is really about the cooldown trades I talked about earlier. Outplaying Fiora maybe with like the R dodge techs, not techs, R dodge reactions that I talked about. And so generally speaking, again, I'll leave with some final thoughts. Camille or Fiora will win level 1 and 2, and then Camille will win levels 3 through 5, and then Fiora will generally win for the rest of the game because without outside intervention, because she, max HP true damage will outscale flat true damage, even if true damage scales insanely well, right? Um, and so Um, Fiora wins at four plus items, and Camille can still outplay her at around 2 to 3 items. This is not to say really that Camille gets outscaled by her generally, as Camille can just still tear apart backlines by herself in team fights if the game goes late enough. And additionally, Camille can still manage Fiora in the side lane until Fiora is legitimately full build. I'm talking 6 items selling boots, because at that point Fiora literally does something like 75% of your max health and true damage. And so, I mean, Camille is kick flipping you for a 1.2k true damage at that point, but it just can't keep up with Fiora's late game 1v1s. But a full build Camille can still always out team fight a full build Fiora because her cage can lock down key targets in the backline, making her unkiteable. And this is what's really important in late game team fights. Fiora can be kited and is actually compared quite easy compared like comparable to a Set or a Nasus in late game team fights. And so there you have it, guys. This is quite a detailed breakdown of the Camille Fiora matchup. And with the right patience, anyone can really win these skillful matchups and dominate top lane. I went pretty deep into this. However, a challenger player or a pro player could go even like talk about this matchup for hours, right? But anyways, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm looking to do more of these videos in the future, but please also support my Patreon if you want to see more of these. After about after a couple of these, I'm going to just start releasing them on my Patreon for people that are members. And so it's kind of worth my time to keep making this, right? So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time.